Hello, I'm Sebastian. Welcome to Nine Trees podcast. Today I will summarize and review the book, The Outsiders: 8 Unconventional CEOs and Their Radically Rational Blueprint for Success by William Thorndike. Shatters the conventional understanding of what it takes to become a successful leader in the business world. Through meticulous research and engaging storytelling, Thorndike presents the profiles of 8 outlier CEOs whose firms outperformed the S&P 500 by a factor of 20. What sets this book apart is not just its focus on financial success, but the unconventional methods these leaders use to achieve it. Thorndike meticulously deconstructs the strategies, focus areas, and decision-making processes that these CEOs implemented, challenging preconceived notions about corporate leadership and strategic management. It's an illuminating read that underscores the power of thinking differently and the impact of leadership on a company's performance. I will give you key takeaways from this book. Firstly, capital allocation. The CEO's secret weapon. A striking similarity among the outsider CEOs is their exceptional ability in capital allocation, the process of deciding how to deploy the company's resources to maximize long-term shareholder value. Unlike the typical CEO who might prioritize revenue growth or market share, these leaders focused obsessively on achieving the highest possible returns on invested capital. They implemented unconventional strategies, such as aggressive share buybacks when their stock was undervalued, disciplined acquisitions made strictly under favorable terms, and, importantly, a willingness to divest from profitable operations if those segments no longer offered attractive return opportunities. This laser-focused approach on capital efficiency over traditional growth metrics allowed their companies to deliver superior returns, showcasing the paramount importance of prudent capital allocation in driving a company's success. Secondly, decentralized operations. One of the critical strategies that distinguished the CEOs described in The Outsiders was their approach to organizational structure. They favored lean, decentralized operations that empowered lower-level managers and enabled faster decision-making and implementation. This structure facilitated an entrepreneurial spirit within the larger organization, allowing for innovative ideas to surface and be acted upon without the bureaucratic delays common in more centralized companies. Moreover, this autonomy often led to a stronger alignment with the company's overall strategic objectives, as managers felt more personally invested in the outcomes of their decisions. By entrusting key decisions to those closest to the action, these CEOs ensured that their companies remained nimble and were able to adapt swiftly to changing market conditions, thereby sustaining a competitive edge. Thirdly, long-term perspective. Rather than succumbing to the pressure of achieving quarterly targets, the CEOs profiled in The Outsiders played the long game. They eschewed the short-termism that plagues many public companies, focusing instead on the long-term health and profitability of their firms. This perspective often involved making decisions that were unpopular with analysts or investors in the short term, but which paid significant dividends in the years to come. Examples include investing in significant capital projects that would take years to bear fruit, or avoiding industries undergoing temporary booms, foreseeing the busts that would inevitably follow. This long-term vision helped their companies to avoid the pitfalls of cyclical trends and ensured sustainable growth and profitability over decades, not just quarters. Fourthly, unorthodox investor communications. The CEOs featured in The Outsiders broke the mold not only in their strategic decisions, but also in how they communicated with investors. Eschewing the typical quarterly earnings calls filled with overly optimistic projections and corporate jargon, these leaders opted for transparency, simplicity, and honesty in their communications. They were less concerned with managing short-term stock price movements and more focused on clearly articulating their long-term strategies and the rationale behind their capital allocation decisions. This approach built a deep level of trust with their investor bases over time, attracting a cohort of shareholders who shared their long-term perspective and were more supportive during periods of strategic investment or when the companies faced temporary headwinds. Lastly, independent thinking. Perhaps the most fundamental characteristic shared by the CEOs in The Outsiders is their fierce independence of thought. These leaders were not afraid to go against the grain, making decisions that deviated significantly from industry norms or popular opinion. This trait was evident in everything from their contrarian investment choices to their defiance of conventional CEO behaviors and perks. Their ability to maintain an independent stance guided by rational analysis, rather than the emotions or expectations of the market participants, allowed them to see opportunities where others saw risks and to steer clear of the herd mentality that often leads to suboptimal decision-making. This independent thinking was not for its own sake, but was always in service of the ultimate goal, maximizing long-term shareholder value. In conclusion, The Outsiders by William Thorndike offers a compelling look into the practices of CEOs who dared to defy conventional wisdom to achieve unparalleled success. It is a must-read for current and aspiring business leaders, strategy enthusiasts, and anyone fascinated by the potential of unconventional thinking in driving significant outcomes. The book will teach its readers the importance of focusing on capital allocation, long-term planning, operational autonomy, transparent communication, and, most importantly, cultivating an independent mindset. In a world that often celebrates conformity and immediate results, The Outsiders serves as a powerful reminder of the impact of strategic patience, thoughtful decision-making, and the courage to tread your path. It illustrates that true success, the kind that is sustained and transformative, often requires a departure from the norm and a dedication to principles that others might overlook or undervalue. If you would like to support William Thorndike, you can buy the book through the Amazon link I've provided in the podcast description. After reading the book, please let me know what you think and share your thoughts. See you around.